ranking every new horror movie I've watched this year from worst to best. In last place, I have Until Dawn, which is based on a video game of the same name, but they pretty much just took the name of the game and nothing else. Now listen, if you want to make something in the world of the video game and have your own characters, your own story, that's fine, but it better be at least as good or better than what you're taking from. The video game literally has a better story. All the characters in this movie are incredibly generic and forgettable. For some reason, this is like a time loop movie that if you die, the night restarts. So pretty much all the stakes are taken away because in all these brutal kills they're having, the night just starts over again. At number 11 is Wolfman. Such a huge disappointment for me for multiple reasons. First of all, this came out in January, right after Nosferatu in December. So I was riding the monster movie high and hoping this was also going to be pretty good. It's also directed by Lee Winnell, who did the movie Upgrade, which I think is an amazing like sci-fi cyberpunk film. It's on Netflix. Definitely go watch this instead of Wolfman. Besides the fact that this poster is very cool for the movie, this is one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my life. Like, they don't actually have the actual Wolfman monster in this film until probably the last like 20 minutes. I swear it feels like nothing happens for the first like hour of this movie. It's so incredibly boring. At number 10, I have Hard Eyes, which is about the serial killer that every Valentine's Day is going around killing couples and he wears this hard eyes mask. The only way I can describe this movie is that it's pretty much the quality of a Hallmark romance movie that they just put a random serial killer in, and the reveal of who Hard Eyes is also incredibly stupid. At number 9 is The Monkey, which is again not a very good movie. It's been a pretty bad year for horror, and there's always just really bad horror movies every year. It's literally a movie about a wind-up monkey going on a killing spree. I mean, some of the kills are actually kind of creative and fun at least, but otherwise just a terrible movie. At number 8, I have Clown in a Cornfield, which you guessed it, is about a clown in a cornfield. This just feels like every single new like quote-unquote original slasher movie you've seen over the years. Like, oh, this girl and her father moved to this new town, but something's up and a little fishy in this town. Oh no, what is it? Like, I swear there's a brand new slasher movie every single year that's like the same exact plot as this movie. At number 7, we're at least upgrading to like the dumb fun category with the movie Drop. It's about this woman that's been a widow for a long time and she hasn't been dating for a while, and she finally decides to go out on this date with this guy. But while she's on the date, she starts getting these random airdrops to her phone giving her instructions like, you have to kill this person in the restaurant or else I'm gonna kill your family. Obviously the premise is kind of silly and it gets like Looney Tunes goofy by the end of the movie, but it is a fun enough time. The suspense is kind of there and like the mystery of like, oh, who's sending her these airdrops to her phone? It's a fun enough film. At number 6 is Hell of a Summer, another slasher movie, but this one's kind of more of a love letter to the slasher genre and is more like poking fun at it in times and is more of a satire than being like, oh, it's just repeating the same tropes over and over again. Finn Wolfhard, who you probably recognize as Mike from Stranger Things, this is his directorial debut and he actually stars in the movie, and you can definitely tell he has a love for the genre, and this is a pretty solid movie. Like, again, nothing great or groundbreaking, but the script's pretty funny, lots of laugh out loud lines. Again, it's just kind of a slasher at this summer camp, but a fun enough movie. Now, before we get to the top 5, I'd appreciate if you dropped a like on the video and let me know your favorite and least favorite horror movie of the year so far. 5 is Death of a Unicorn, which is kind of light on horror for the first like hour. I wouldn't even really call it a horror movie, but that's what it's categorized, and there's definitely some violent and gory kills by the end of this thing. Jenna Ortega and her dad, played by Paul Rudd, are on a way to a work retreat for his work, and on their way there they hit and kill a unicorn. This leads them to find out, oh wait, this unicorn kind of has certain powers that maybe we can exploit. So it's definitely a commentary on like the billionaires at this work retreat trying to exploit unicorns and animals. Number 4 is Final Destination Bloodlines. This might be blasphemous to say, but I've never actually seen a Final Destination movie besides this one, and I didn't want to burn through the entire franchise before this movie. I was like, whatever, I'll just go and see this one, but it was actually a lot of fun. It definitely lived up to the crazy kills that this franchise is known for. There was some really insane ones in this movie, but I also thought the story was pretty solid, especially compared to what I was expecting it to be. I get playing with this idea of like fate and the bloodlines and stuff. Like I said, I don't even know if these characters are returning characters or not, so maybe I was missing out on some aspects, but I really enjoyed this. It's just a great dumb fun movie. At number 3, I have 28 Years Later, which yes, I did give like a 6.5 out of 10, and I still stand by this rating. Pretty much everything below it is like a 6 out of 10 or lower though. As I said, it's been a pretty rough year for new horror movies, and there are a ton of elements in this movie that I legitimately love. Like, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson and the kid Alfie Williams that plays Spike in the movie are legitimately giving great performances. The movie looks gorgeous. The first hour is actually incredible, but it kind of feels like two completely different movies from the first half to the second half. And while there are ideas and different things that happen in the second half that I do really like, it's way weaker than that first hour of the movie. The ending scene, I don't care if it's setting up for a sequel or anything, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. A lot of the action scenes are legitimately intense. The gore is definitely the craziest of the entire franchise, but there's some really weird editing in all of the action scenes too, where they're doing like some weird kill cam effect on the zombies. So there's a million things I like and dislike about this movie, kind of firmly in the middle for me, but like I said, it's been a weak year, so this just being a well-made, well-produced film kind of gets it this high. At number 2, I have Companion with Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid, who plays Huey from The Boys. It's kind of hard to talk about this movie without kind of spoiling it, because it's the entire premise of the film. Even the poster spoils it here, so I am going to say it in case you don't want to know. Pretty much it follows this world where Iris here is this AI companion that Huey from The Boys buys to be his girlfriend. And the movie kind of follows her becoming aware that she is an AI. Like I said, this is kind of the entire premise of the movie, like the first 10-15 minutes, so it's not really a spoiler, but it's hard to talk about it without saying that. But at number 1, it's not even a competition. The jump in quality from 2 to this is crazy. It's Sinners, not only my favorite horror movie of the year, this is still my favorite movie of the entire year. Hopefully some of these July films will change that though. If you want to see my full review of the movie and why I love it so much, click the video above my head right now, and thank you so much for watching.